A very brief introduction to Afzal Khan, who is the co-founder of our Muslim Jewish Forum. He also was an immigrant. He came over from Jhelum in Pakistan, aged 11 in 1970. And in that time, he's been a factory worker, a policeman, then he got a law degree and was a solicitor across the road from me. We were rival solicitors. And then he moved further. He became a councillor and the Lord Mayor of Manchester, an MEP, and now he is the MP for Gorton. And as we've mentioned, he did found the forum almost 16 years ago. So over to you, Afzal.
Thank you, Heather. As always, you are kind and generous with your introduction. And I'll start with them thanking you and Naeem for organizing this wonderful evening. And again, if I'm honest with you, I was struggling to join the event today. It's part of your pressure and part of my own eagerness to make sure I don't miss an event of a Muslim Jewish Forum. I did manage to move things around, and from start I've been able to join you. Thank you for sharing this event, and thank you to Naeem for the technical backup to ensure the whole thing runs smoothly. And I suppose I have to thank the speakers as well. And I'll start with the first thing is this. You know, I find almost from every speaker I could relate to, and it may be like Heather's introduced, you know, I also came here as a young boy, and that whole journey of shifting from one country to another, the cultures, the languages, and how you adapt. So in the sense, there has to be some commonalities between our different speakers. So listening to, you know, Ahmed, who I've known for many, many years, I would say from when he was in the Thames side, working on racism, and many, many decades, I've also been working on the issue of racism. So this is how I've seen him, and listening to him again, I thought was interesting, the commonality we have, including the fight against the National Front and the other such extreme organizations. And of course, the Kung Fu, I thought that was interesting what he said, and also about Bruce Lee. When I was younger, that was from my ideal side thing as well, to spend a lot of time on martial arts and practicing and watching these films. And then I thought Alex was, again, interesting, his whole journey as well, how he moved around in different countries, and then ultimately coming here to Manchester. But two things struck me, I thought, from what Alex was saying. One was this point of saying how his Jewishness idea has sort of balanced out within for himself. And again, I could relate to that. I've had these swings, you know, totally almost becoming an atheist on a certain stage in my life, and then swinging to the other side that I could see nothing other than Muslims, and then balancing things out. And it always reminds me of the saying of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And what he said was, the extreme always spoils things, and it's the moderation which beautifies it. So these extreme ends, you know, when we do have those swings, actually it's the coming to the balance, which is a key. So I'm glad Alex, like myself and others, we feel like that. And then the other bit I thought was interesting was his idea was that indirectly himself, he didn't quite sort of experience so much of anti-Semitism, whereas in reality he understands that it does exist in the wider society. And one of the things which always struck me was it's this idea that actually, of course, there's the idea of society and there's the idea of other side, but there is also your side and how you have an attitude, how you relate to others. That can actually make a difference as well in those experiences. And so Safiya, again, I thought was interesting, the stuff she shared with us, the both diversity in her family concept and diversity in languages and things, how it has impact on her. And then I suppose looking at Michael, who basically focused on his parents and their experience and the whole survival idea of how it had huge impact as a survivor of Holocaust. Michael is a good friend of mine. I've known him for some time now. We regularly talk about some of these difficulties and issues and how things have sort of progressed in that sense where they are. And I would say, you know, this message there which Michael gave, with needing to work against racism, making sure the society is fair and fair for all, and giving that sort of a different sort of showing the example is sort of a role which is the side of which yourself you have to look at. Naeem, I don't need to say too much. I've known him almost all of my political life. We've been working together, and he's got an amazing journey, how he's traveled in different, in the geographical sense, also in his own life sense, you know, doing lots of different works, jobs, the political side as well, and he's still fairly active. You said Heather being a Lord Mayor may have been his peak, but who knows, he's still going. He may get even more something peak. So that's been wonderful. Let me just quickly finish out with just 3-4 quick points, actually. I'm not going to elaborate much. But one thing I thought there was a common thread between all the speakers, and that was really a love of Manchester. And I do genuinely believe Manchester is an amazing city. And this is why whoever comes to Manchester falls in love with Manchester, and this is how they stay. And then equally, this idea of UK being welcoming. I mean, I've moved around being a member of European Parliament. I've gone around the European different countries as well. I've moved around in the world as well. I think it's true. There is something about the British people, actually. They are this welcoming in the sense of diversity. They accept things, which I think is really positive. And then I thought the third thing which came through of all the speakers was this key point of adaptability, you know, being able to adapt to things. And this, again, I think is a trait which the immigrant community has. And this is why they're able to pick themselves up from one place and sort of put a new roots at another place. And that always has been an amazing strength of the immigrant communities. And that's why they've also provided so much energy to wherever they go. And I'll finish with a final point on this, Heather. And that point is, fundamentally, you know, there is an increase. I've done 30+ years of fight against racism at all sorts of levels. Pleasure of defeating the leader of the British National Party to become a member of European Parliament. You know, the truth is, there is an increase, and it is across the whole Europe. Somebody picked up about Angela Merkel. I think she is an amazing politician, actually, and she has been providing that moral compass in the German sense, and Germany is a powerful, dominant force in the European Union. But I think underneath, there's no question that even in Germany, there is a rise. And in that sense, brings to the core point, which Amin was talking about, need for us to be working together better and more efficiently and stronger, and to tackle some of these challenges that exist there. So once again, thank you all of you for joining as well. It's only by you joining, actually, we enjoyed it so much. All of us has enriched this event. Thank you.